Hello, I'm Richard Ridge for BroadwayWorld. The new musical, A Gentleman's Guide to Love and Murder, will open on Sunday evening, November 17th at the Walter Kerr Theatre. The cast is led by Tony Award winner Jefferson Mays and Bryce Pinkham, and I caught up with the company here at the Norwood Club during a break in rehearsal.
It's almost guaranteed. No one else can really understand. Only another man knows what you need. And when the man has fallen down upon his knees, it's such a moment to remember that. Someone who's self-controlled, someone who's strong and bold, someone who's good as gold. It's better with a man. Then you'll be my friend.
Indeed I do. When a man is lonely, he can always find another man who's feeling just the same. Drink will help you get your troubles off your mind. You'll both be blind before you know his name.
Bloodhounds with him.
Deem that rousing climax when your horse comes in. Cheering loudly as he can. Only a man would see the meaning of victory. Oh, the camaraderie. It's better with a man.
Welcome to Broadway with the piece now. How do you feel?
Oh, I feel great. I've loved every minute of my 5 years working on this show. I started doing the workshops. I brought Jefferson into it because I had worked with him before. And then, we premiered it at Hartford Stage. It was fun. It was really well received. We took it to the Old Globe. They went nuts. So it's nice. It's nice to bring it to New York now. I feel very happy. So
Take me back to the beginning when you got the material. What attracted you to want to direct it? And what were the challenges for you early on?
Well, you know what? It was the kind of music that I like to listen to. It's a combination of music that's very funny and very romantic, very tuneful. So people do leave this show singing the tunes. And then the lyrics made me laugh. And what I like to say is if not a single note was sung, it would still be a great show because the plot is so amazing, the story is so much fun. So that's what attracted me to it. And the challenge is, it has always felt just joyous. It has never felt like heavy lifting. It has always felt like a great deal of fun. So it's not that there aren't challenges. The particular, I would say the trick was all of the routines that Jefferson developed, in workshops. The idea was how to keep that. So we built the set around him. Usually the actors come later. In this instance, actually, I wanted to keep the ideas he developed, and we designed the costumes and the sets around all of that. So, yeah.
You assembled an incredible cast.
Yeah, it's a beautiful cast. Bryce is a wonderful addition, and Lauren, she's one of the few, I think, crossover artists. She's a true opera singer, and she's funny as hell. And then Lisa is a major discovery. She's a wonderful English actress, but New York audiences don't really know her. So I can't imagine anybody but her playing this part of Sibella. So, yeah.
So what are you looking forward to the most with bringing the show to Broadway?
I can't wait to share it with New York audiences. I think it's going to be really fun, and I think it's such a smart piece that I'd be happy to take it anywhere.
Talk about your collaboration.
I was just going to say, the key to it, I think, is we have such a good time cracking each other up.
Yes, that's right. We always say that, and much as all of this has been thrilling and head-spinning, and this is now the third production the show is getting, there is nothing more fun than just being in the room alone with this guy, and trying to make you laugh.
Yeah.
And trying to make each other laugh and ourselves laugh. And I do think, if I may say that, I think that some of the fun of that appears on stage.
Well, the miracle is that people think what we find funny is funny too. So.
And that is a miracle.
Yeah.
Yes, because that is often not the
Thank
case.
God.
But yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
So for audiences who have yet to buy tickets, explain what the musical is all about.
Well, it's about a guy, Monty Navarro. It takes place in Edwardian England, and Monty has been raised in genteel poverty. Then his mother dies, and he finds out that she was actually an heiress to a great fortune, and he is now an heir to the earldom. The only thing is the family has denied her existence and therefore his existence, and the girl that he's in love with wants to marry up, And she doesn't, she's rejected him, but now he sees a chance that he could maybe be an earl. But the only thing he can figure out to do ultimately is to get rid of everybody who stands in the way of him becoming the earl. But there's 8 of them, and all 8 of them are played by the magnificent Jefferson Mays in an incredible tour de force performance.
It's an unbelievable performance, and we often say, though we've seen it 100 times each, hundreds of times, he's always remarkable.
Just today in rehearsal, he invented something new, and he just keeps cracking us up. And Bryce Pinkham is a great match for him.
And Bryce plays Monty, our lovable murderer.
So, of course, we'll talk again on opening night, but what are you looking forward to the most with bringing your musical to Broadway?
Oh, that's...
Oh, my God.
Do you have an answer to that? I'm not sure that I know I have an answer.
You know what? It's such a cliche, but it's such a dream come true for both of us. And I think we've got it already. We're here.
In a certain way, getting anything produced at all these days is a miracle. And the show has been very well received thus far, and in a certain way, everything beyond that is gravy. For me, watching today, because we did a run-through earlier today, and I just loved the fact that there were new people in the room seeing what we have so enjoyed for so many years, alone in the dark. If you'll excuse my
There's
saying.
nothing like the sound of laughter, or the silence of people leaning forward in their seats to listen.
And there's nothing like the sound of this cast. This cast is musically just incredible, and there are 11 of them, and they sing for 40.
Take me back to the beginning of how, when you got the script, what went through your mind and why you wanted to do it.
Well, I had just moved to the States. It was 4 years ago when they were doing the production at La Jolla. And my agent sent me the script, and I just immediately loved it. I mean, it's so authentically British, and also I've spent my career in corsets, so it's like my favorite thing. Some people don't like it, but I love it. I love the costumes, the era, the manners, everything about it. And so, anyway, I just read the script. It was so fabulously written. It's so witty. The character is fabulous, and she's such a departure from characters that I've played in the past. She's definitely the bad girl, which is fun for me because I've spent my career playing the sort of English Rose ingenue role, so that was really fun. But no, I mean, just everything about it, the writing, the music, it's just, it was a gold mine. I was like, oh my goodness, I need to get the show. It's just so fabulous. So
talk about the musical number you were in today and where it fits in.
Yeah, the trio. It's sort of a French farce with lots of doorography involved, and it's sort of it's in the second half of the show when you learn that there's this love triangle going on, and that Monty has 2 women on the go at the same time, so to speak. And I am the mistress, and when the wife-to-be knocks on the door, I'm sort of shoved in the next room, and then we do this fabulous number written by Stephen Luttbach and Robert Friedman, and it's all to do with going in and out of doors and him trying to basically disguise the fact that he has a woman in the other room. And it's my favorite number in the show. I think it's incredibly fun to do.
And working with this cast so far.
Yes, oh my goodness. Wow, I mean, Bryce Pinkham, Jefferson Mays, Lauren Mortimer, just like the most fabulous group of people. It's really a joy. When we did the first table read just a couple of weeks ago, it was just fabulous to hear everybody in these parts, and I mean, they're all just so perfectly cast. It's really wonderful.
Welcome to Broadway with this. Tell me what rehearsals have been like.
They've been the most enormous fun. I have not got a huge role, important role, but not huge. So my joy is watching how clever everybody else is. And they are astonishingly talented. They make me feel like a 14-year-old with braces on my teeth, a real beginner. It's the voices are tremendous. The acting is just marvelous, and the fun to be had is legion.
So what do you do in the show? Tell me.
I play Miss Shingle, I come on at the beginning of the piece to an unexpected visitor for Monty Navarro to spill the beans about the fact that I knew his mother and I know secrets about the Dysquith family and impart them to him, which sends him off on his journey.
And tell me what you love about the material. We haven't had anything like this on Broadway.
Well, what I love about the material, first and foremost, is how clever and witty it is, and how hummable all the tunes are. Very rarely after a week of rehearsal do you know every song in the show, and especially when you're as dumb musically as I am. But I know every song. I listen carefully. I don't know all the lyrics yet, but I listen carefully, and it makes you laugh every time you see it. It's a clever wit is such a rare thing these days, and to get a surfeit of it is marvelous.
Welcome to Broadway with the show. How do you feel?
I am so excited. This is my Broadway debut, and it's an original role with an amazing cast and an amazing piece. So I'm pretty much, flipping out. Yeah.
Good flipping out.
Yes, great flipping out. Yeah.
So talk about this wonderful role you're going to play.
I play Phoebe. She is the cousin/wife of the protagonist, and she's in a love triangle with the protagonist, Monty, and his childhood sweetheart, Sabella. So there's a lot of fun with that. And she's a very proper girl, but she's also attracted to kind of the underbelly, the poverty and like working one's way up. That's very sexy to her. And she has a crafty side, too, that you don't see till the end.
So if you were asked to describe the musical, how do you describe it?
Zany, deadly fun. Yeah, it's about someone who's climbing their way up to the top through murder, and there's something very gratifying about that, to see somebody killing everyone above them, to reach the top. It's nice.
And what you love about the material, what attracted you to this musical to want to do it?
Well, it's so well written. It's like Oscar Wilde. And then on top of that, the music is legit musical theater that you don't often see anymore, and it's so perfectly written and perfectly suited to the voice. It's written for the voice, and I love it. It's a joy.
Isn't this madness? Who could foresee how one trick of time could ruin it? One in the parlor, one in the bed, nothing between them but me and a wall that could really be noble and pious. My esteem for her only grows. But when I am with Phoebe, I am on fire, thinking of Sabella, full of desire, passion, and dare I say it love. But when I'm with Sabella, do I admire none but Phoebe, perfect and lovely, who couldn't love her ever rose. Round and round it goes. How happy I'd be to be at your disposal. My darling, of course I accept your proposal.
This show is so fun to work on. Can I tell you something? Jefferson Mays is a marvel of modern science. I mean, this guy is absurdly good, and not just because he's transformative, but he's a gentleman in the rehearsal room, and I feel like every day I'm the luckiest actor alive. He's gonna give a performance that I can't wait for people to see.
Take me back to that first table read, what it was like for you.
The first table read for me was terrifying because Jefferson obviously has been working on the show for a while, and Stephen and Robert as well. But sometimes it's better to be shot out of a cannon, than to have it all planned out. And that's sort of what everything's been leading up to this moment. It's felt like being shot out of a cannon, but it's great.
Talk about the role that you play.
I play Monty Navarro. He is the the Dickensian underdog protagonist. And he learns at the beginning of the show that he is heir to a distant relative who is the Earl of the realm. So he's heir to this title and a great fortune, but there are 8 people before him in the line of succession. It turns out they're all sort of these despicable relatives. And so it being a musical comedy, he decides to, one by one, dispatch each one of them to their maker. At the same time, he's caught in a love triangle with these 2 beautiful women who sing like goddesses. So I have a lot to do, but gosh, I'm a lucky guy. I really am.
Broadway hasn't seen anything like this.
No, this is something like this. Can't think of anything like this that's been on Broadway. I've been describing it like the love child of Gilbert and Sullivan if they invited Charles Dickens over to watch Downton Abbey and then took a hit of laughing gas and wrote a musical. And then Stephen Sondheim came in and was like, I have some ideas for some really witty lyrics that you would love. I mean, it's really got a lot of traditions sort of intersecting in this kind of like bomb of comedy, and I'm so excited. I can't wait for you to see it.
I think that's the best description. They should stick that on the flyer.
Yeah, exactly. No, it is. It's like Gilbert and Sullivan called up Charles Dickens, like, hey, do you like Downton? And he's
laughing gas.
The laughing gas. Yeah, it's as if they all took laughing gas and said, let's sit down and write a musical tonight. And 10 years later, here we are.
Tell me what this has been like working on.
It's been a wild adventure that has taken us from Hartford, Connecticut to sunny San Diego to here. And again, I never thought we'd end up here, but here we are, just where we ought to be, I think. Yeah.
Well, Jefferson, take me back to the beginning when you got the musical and what attracted you to this and why you wanted to do it.
It was the story. In all honesty, it was playing 8 different characters, which just appeals to me. I suffer from that actor's pathology of wanting to play all the parts, and they very kindly indulged me with that. But so they sent me the script to read a number of years ago, about 3 years ago. So I've done a number of workshops and then these various incarnations across the country. And it's just been a rollicking good time for us all.
So how different are the 8 that you play, and what can you tell us briefly about them?
Very briefly, in a nutshell, I play Adalbert Dysquith, who's the sort of Ursine patriarch, the current Earl. And Asquith Dysquith Jr., who is a sort of predatory, rapacious cad and a bounder. And then a man of finance, Asquith Dysquith Sr. I play a very bad actress in a production of Hedda Gabler, Lady Salome Dysquith. And then probably the most masculine of all is a woman named Lady Hyacinth Dysquith, who's a society lady and a do-gooder, a missionary of sorts, and a suffragette probably. And then Henry Dysquith, who you met this evening, who's rather effete and lives in the country. And I think that's about it. Who have I left out? I can't keep them all straight.
I love it, though, because you've sort of given us the Cliff Note version, which is great, because I'm sure it's... Right. What have the challenges been for you at doing them? Because they're all quick changes, right?
My God. Those, you put your finger right on it. It's the quick changes, the costume changes that are a challenge, in which I come off the stage, sweaty, hurl myself into the dark, am set upon by 2 muscular dressers who tear my clothes off, put me in a new costume, whisper my next character in my ear, and shove me bodily onto the stage. So it doesn't stop, and I wish you could come and photograph the costume changes, because I think a great deal of the drama of the evening lies there.
It seems like noise is off. There's a whole other show going on backstage for you.
It's insane, and I think that Julian, my wonderful dresser, is probably my leading man, really. But don't tell Bryce. Yeah.
What do you love about the material?
I like to think of it as a love letter to musical theater tradition on both sides of the pond. I mean, there's Gilbert and Sullivan, there's Stephen Sondheim, Rossini, Verdi's, even some Chopin. I know that's not musical theater, but it's just an exultant love letter to music and theater. Yeah.
Gentlemen have secrets they will never tell.